September afternoon. Unfortunately, we're inside. And I have here today what I consider the middle-aged folks, those people who spent most of their childhood in North Chatham. And they're going to talk about what it was like then. And so now Rich Deo is going to start introducing himself and tell all of us a little bit about himself.
A little bit about myself?
Sure.
Well, I'm Richard Dale, no middle name, got shortchanged. Moved into North Chatham, I believe, in 1936, and moved into what was the Kate Garrigan House, one of the oldest houses in the village. And well, I can remember some of the things, the younger days, was going to the two-room schoolhouse down here in North Chatham. And first teacher I had was Mary Arnold. And then she had the first 4 grades, and the second 4 grades had Ella Bashford for a while. And then there was a lady named Martha Worthington. She was an excellent teacher. And I remember clearly that when I graduated from the 8th grade, Bruce Clark and I were the 8th grade. So other things than that, let's see. It was always a lot of fun growing up in the village. Nobody had to worry about any robberies or problems or anything. Kids ran all over the village. We knew everybody in the village because it seemed like everybody lived here their full life. What did we do? Well, we played cops and robbers, had our bicycles running downtown. Used to go up into what we call Pritchard's Woods and hike around. There was a place up there we called Indian Ladder. That was a great place to go up and camp. And by the way, Lloyd Welch carved his name in the side of the rock up there in 1911. You can still see that, I'm sure. And it was also Popeye was carved in the rock by Jack Ring. But I doubt if you can see that anymore because it wasn't engraved in very deep. Wintertime, seemed like the 2 things that were most fun was ice skating over Box's Pond, which was over on the Waldorf farm. And we had to walk all the way across the field through the snow because there was no buses or anything to truck us around. And the other thing that we enjoyed was sleigh riding. And we used to go up on what we call Howard's Hill, the sleigh ride down. And when the sand truck came by, we used to get mad. And a lot of times, actually, the sand truck would stay off the edge of the road, so it would leave us a place to sleigh ride. And we also sleigh ride in behind Bertzel's house, which is now Doris Appel's house. And it's quite a nice ride down the hill, and we used to try and see if we could go down into the creek. And once in a while somebody did. But that was very rare that you'd go that far. Well, I'll take a break for now.
Well, thank heavens.
He left nothing for me to say. All right, I'm Joyce Ring Clapper. I was born here and lived here 56 years. My father was born here and lived here 86 years. All what Rich said is true. We all enjoyed all those fun things. And in addition, we enjoyed Rings Park for swimming all day long. There was a slide, a boat, a log to walk up and down, a dock, swing, picnic tables, croquet, and you could spend a whole day there, which we normally did in the summer. Also fond memories of the 2-room school. Avril, Horsheimer, Rouse, and I were the 1st grade, and Mary Arnold was the teacher. We had more to graduate from 8th grade, however. Also, the bicycles was a big means of transportation for us up and down the village. Another thing we did every evening was go to Jane Rendell's hotel. and just enjoy everybody's company and eat ice cream. And I'll pass to Russ.
I'm Russell Lesterdale, and I came here at the age of 6 after living in Nassau. And I was in the middle of the first grade when I came here. The most memorable part of being in the first grade was having Gilbert Weaver knock me down the stairs and split my head open. Herb Diedrich, Adeline Howard, and Edna Logan and I were the first grade, and we were the 8th grade. We didn't pick up or lose anyone all those years. Rich and Joyce have told about our early life. The other thing that I remember is going to the firehouse on Saturday night when they had the movies, and then later having the square dances up there. I also remember when World War II started that Ira Stever and I were made junior air raid wardens by Webster Bertzel, who was the air raid warden, and he got us an armband and a blue lens for our flashlight, and when we'd have an air raid, Ira and I'd have to walk up and down the street and make sure everybody had their curtains pulled. Trying to think of anything else that
Tell
we
about
did that
Wendell
you didn't
Wilkie. Tell about
tell them about what?
Wendell Wilkie.
Wendell Wilkie.
Oh,
Mr. Punk.
Oh, Mr.
I think when Wendell Wilkie was 1940, was running against FDR, and we were out trick-or-treating, and when we went to Mr. Clum's house, if we said hooray for Wilkie, he gave us a dime. I'll pass to Ginny now.
So I remember that very well. I'm Virginia Jordan Davis. My parents lived here when I was born 71 years ago, and I don't think I belong in the middle age.
Yes, you do,
but,
yes, you do. Yes.
I've been really enjoying listening to Joyce and Rich, some of the things that they have said, but I think they started when they were old enough to do things like ride the bike. I think back more of how it was when we were little, and we never had any problems finding something to do. We had our dolls or our toy cars or whatever, and if there was nothing particular to do, we'd do that. We didn't have to have somebody make things for us to do, which is a complete change from the way it is now. We'd push our doll carriages and dress our dolls, or if there was nothing else to do, we would read. And I think almost all of us read practically every book there was in the library or anything that was published, because we had lots of time but didn't feel bored. At any rate, I didn't feel bored. I also went to the two-room school, and at my time it was Ella Bashford in the large 5 through 8, and Mary Arnold in 1 through 4. So, the same two teachers, and excellent. You don't find too many like that anymore that can handle a group of rowdy country kids like we were without any problems. I was also interested in what Russ said about being pushed down the stairs and cutting his head open, because I'm sure that his mother and dad did not sue the Weavers because of that, which is the kind of thing that happens today. So lots of changes, and of course good ones, but you kind of wish some of the good things we had back then we could have today too. I'll go on to Dot.
Dot. I'm Dorothy Howard Ostrowski, born and brought up in the house on County Route 17. I started school here at no kindergarten, started right at first grade. So far, everything that the other folks have said, I remember, except they have failed to remind everybody of the school picnics we used to have out on the front lawn with just picnic tables and benches. And also the Walker store that was next to the school, when we used to go there and buy our ice cream, and the sticks used to say free, or then you'd go back and get another free one maybe the next day.
Are they popsicles?
Popsicles, fudgesicles,
Yeah,
fudgesicles. And we could leave the school grounds and they'd always expect us to come back to class for some unknown reason. I was never depressed because when I left school, I went home, grabbed a bite to eat, and did some chores. Hard chores. The other thing is coming here to this church for Sunday school and choir practice and walking all the time from the top of the hill down. I remember the tobogganing chores that we used to do in front of our house up there. And we always tried to see who could sleigh ride the farthest, and many times we started at the top of our hill by our front walk and would come all the way down past the bridge that's there. I can't say of anything else that I ever did except go to school, come home, go to work, get up and do homework at night after the chores was done.
Tell them what your chores were.
What my chores were.
Yes, yes.
In the cow barn.
There, okay, that's good.
Hard work chores. I've always done a lot of hard work, and I believe that I am the oldest one here of the middle age group. So that's, and I do remember Rings Park and rowing the boat, and we used to go all the way up to back of the Jamon house, and Pat Jamon. Always had a good time.
Where would that be, Dot? Would that be toward the upway or
Yes.
south?
Up.
Yeah.
Up to past where they threw away the Berkshire Spur is
Yeah,
now?
right about in that
Yes.
territory, but past
Uh-huh.
there. We used to row a boat, had a slide there. We used to eat and never left any garbage around in Rings Park. Swim, just had a good old time.
But there were lots and lots of farms around here at that time.
At that time, lots of farms, yeah. Mr. Palmer next door to us, my grandfather down the road, the big farm, the Gleason farm right on the end, County Route 17.
Yeah, well, that's,
And the house that I was born in looks just like it was at that time. My grandparents bought it in 1909.
it's a beautiful house, it's absolutely. The
right
first
there.
house on the left on
The
County Route 17. Yeah.
On top of the hill.
Mhm.
That was Howard Hill. The next one was Palmer's Hill.
So you sleigh ride,
All the way
all
down.
the way down where
We
the
used to-
road is.
We
Yeah.
used to try.
Yeah,
And that wasn't a macadam road either. That was dirt road.
uh-huh. And then there was the Dorn farm
Dorn's, yeah, Mr. Dorn.
and Steimer.
Steimer's,
Dorn's.
Holiday, it was
Farmers.
Holiday.
Waldorf.
Waldorf Farm,
Waldorf Farms.
Williams?
Earl Williams,
Mhm.
a lot of farms
All
around.
A
farms
lot
around.
of farms around.
Yeah.
Earl Williams up here in the other end of the street. Arnold.
Well, talk about what your fathers and mothers did when you were little kids. Because I know your
Yeah.
Well,
father,
my father was a traveling butcher, and he peddled through the village. Well, he started in Albany or Rensselaer and worked his way all the way up, and would peddle door to door. There was also Irish Scammahorn, who had the general grocery truck. There was Ira Otto Stever, who had, I think his name was it?
Yeah.
And he had the ice truck. There was Gus Linebone peddled the milk, also the Waldorf Farm peddled milk.
Yes.
And who am I leaving out? Oh, Huey Arnold bought our coal to us.
Yeah,
And oil in the end.
Later
I
on.
don't even remember
Later on.
coal that when he did.
and like
and,
kerosene and.
yeah. And
I remember the coal coming down the
The
chute.
chute.
I was thinking the same thing, what a racket it made, we'd be in
Yeah.
the school, everything, it just shut right up, but you couldn't hear a thing, when I rattle down that metal
I
chute.
can remember my
At the
father would
school?
get into the village probably sometime in the evening, and we'd go up and Ira Stever and I'd go up and come down, and we'd run to each house and take the meat in, get the orders and come back and then eat.
You
cut
take
the
the
stuff.
orders for the next day?
Every other day he came, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And when he went to Albany to the Western Beef House, he'd pick up what he needed for the next trip out. And I remember riding on the ice truck with Ira and his father, delivering
Where did they
ice.
get the ice? At one time, I know there was ice cut up here on the creek.
I think
That's a long time
did they
ago.
store the ice down in Arnold's barn down in that?
They
in the
might
back?
have, but they
Yeah.
also made ice up at the milk plant,
Oh,
which was
okay.
behind the firehouse.
Oh, they did?
The newer firehouse.
Mhm.
They had a big brine tank in there. 'Cause I used to work up there after I graduated from high school.
I can
And
remember
we used to
going,
make cakes of ice in there.
I can remember going to Pryor and Williams and watching Frank Pryor saw logs when I was a kid, and also watching Hubie Arnold saw down in the sawmill down there that was still running. And I think he still had the cider mill going because when I was real little, he used to hire me to get in the chute where they dumped the apples, and I'd have to get down to the bottom of the chute, and there was a little square door, and the apples would pile up, and my job was to take my feet and keep
Oh,
pushing the
geez.
apples through.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I bet that was good cider.
You
didn't
really
To make this wonderful
These
Some
are
of
your
it was like
shoes.
you.
The
You had
shoes,
your shoes on?
Yeah.
much like the cider we're having today.
Worms and all, we'd take and drink it right out of the
Yeah, it wasn't
press.
pasteurized or anything.
No. We'd walk on it to get in there, first of all, over all the apples with our shoes on, and
The other
we'd
thing,
drink it.
the other thing I remember is that during World War II, everybody had a victory garden. That was the big thing at that time. And I think every place in the village had a garden out back,
You had the ration stickers too.
yeah. Yeah, you had little red stickers for the meat, and then you had like little yellow stamps for some of the other stuff.
We
The
had
gasoline
that
had
for
stamps.
shoes too, remember?
Well, for everything,
Shoes,
yeah, for
yeah.
everything.
What about Sarah Russell's store? Did you go there very often or not?
We used to go there to get Wings cigarettes for my father.
And she sold them to you before you were 16.
Oh, I was probably,
You didn't have to worry
I was
about
probably 8 years old when I was going there to get
Well,
cigarettes.
she had candy ones too, didn't she?
Candy cigarettes,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
And then they had those black cigars too. Remember
Licorice
the
cigars?
licorice cigars?
Really?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was all right, except some of that candy was unwrapped and it was kind of bad when the dog was around.
And when I was young, my biggest job in the summertime was mowing lawns. I worked for John Clark and Mrs. Farrington and Bertzel, mowed Bertzel's lawn, your
You
lawn.
did?
Jack,
Down the hill?
Jack Heine across the street, but that was Byron at that time,
Mhm.
mowed his lawn. Oh, Mr. Byron lived next door to the school.
Bad.
When we played
Place.
outside and the ball went over the fence into his yard, he'd keep the ball and the teacher'd have to go retrieve it for us. He didn't want any kids in
He
his
didn't
yard.
like
Is
kids
that
too
right?
much.
Isn't that
No,
right?
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
very
That's
right.
That's the way I remember it.
We had some nice things in the yard too. You had a slide that was really
Mhm.
great.
Yeah.
And was the merry-go-round thing was
The-
there
Yeah,
too.
Yeah,
my
wasn't
two
it?
around the
daughters were
swings.
there.
Yeah.
I can recall one time we were out for recess and going back to Gilbert Weaver again, at the firehouse was right behind
Yeah.
Jesse Walker's store.
He was
Right.
And there was a little square
Oh,
glass
yeah.
plate over top of the switch for the siren, and there was a little hammer there, and if you broke the glass, it set the siren off. And Gilbert Weaver just thought he was gonna be wise, and he set that siren off, and of course, like Herb Hogel and Archie Johnson, they all come running, there's no fire. So Mrs. Bashford wanted to know who did it. I guess nobody confessed, and I remember staying after school that night.
Everybody was there.
She kept the whole school because nobody would confess it.
And they had the big round ring that was out in front of the
The fire
firehouse.
gone.
Yep.
Yeah, right there next to the school.
Yep, hit it with a hammer.
Yeah.
That was probably before the siren.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
way, way back.
Yeah.
So talk about your father and Joyce's grandfather built the church.
Great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather.
Yeah, and my grandfather built the school. My father worked for Otis Elevator.
Joyce,
he-
did a member of your family build in the cemetery the vault?
Yeah, my grandfather.
Okay,
The vault.
grandfather.
Grandfather built the house I live in too.
Oh,
or a Mr. Clapper.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
And my mother was active in the village. She didn't work. We were always happy to have her home.
Well, your father built the Otis elevator that went up, the
White
white
Face
face,
Mountain.
the white face
White
one,
Face
yeah.
Mountain.
Oh, oh.
Ginny,
My dad, when he first moved down here from Rensselaer, worked for the railroad. He was a fireman on the railroad. And then when the children came, he didn't feel as if he was making enough money. And so he worked as a mechanic and made a little bit more money. There were only 3 of us, but things were a little different in those days than they are now. My mother was a comptometer operator before she was married, and she just raised us for a while when after we were born, and then she started working at the library as the assistant librarian, and then eventually as the librarian, and she was there forever.
yes, she was. She was a familiar sight up and down the
Yes, she
street.
was, and she walked.
Yeah,
With their flashlight.
With
her
her
flashlight and her
Right.
bag of books.
Right.
Yeah. And she was wonderful. But in the risque books she put underneath the desk.
And she wouldn't,
And she wouldn't give them to the
I couldn't get one time. And I was married.
No, every night Laura would go down the street with her
Yeah.
canvas bag. I figured that she was reading those risque books.
Well, she had to read them to make certain that
Certainly.
That I couldn't.
Certainly.
dear,
The church was very active in our young lives.
definitely,
It
and combination of
With
church
the
and
Sunday school and youth group and very active. Everybody who lived here seemed to
How did you get to high school? Did you walk or what?
know.
Yes, we walked through the snow uphill both ways.
We went by public transportation to Valatia, to Kinderhook too.
Yes.
Not a
Bus?
school bus?
United Traction Company.
no
Yeah.
school
No
bus.
school
No
bus.
school
No,
buses.
no school
Uh-uh.
bus.
And we'd all meet at Jesse Walker's store, didn't we, in the morning?
Oh,
Most
some
of us.
yeah.
Oh no, I had to go to the post office.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was closer.
When you went to high school from here, did they have a cafeteria in the high school or did you bag it, brown paper bag
We
it?
had
Do
a
you remember?
They
cafeteria.
had a
They did have a
cafeteria.
cafeteria.
Yes, they had a cafeteria.
25 cents for lunch.
Yes, a nickel for a carton of milk.
And the district would pay for the transportation from North Chatham to Valatia, but if you wanted to go to Kinderhook, then you had to pay the difference. So I went to Kinderhook, so I had to pay like $1.60 more onto a $3.60 bus ticket that we had. But,
Once a month.
well, yeah, it was a monthly ticket book, like.
It also cost us like $50 or $100 to go to Kinderhook too. My mother had to pay an extra tuition or something.
Yeah,
Oh.
was it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe
Yeah,
50, something
right.
like that. yeah.
forgot about that,
Yeah.
Russ. See, that was my salary that I always got. Once I asked for some, a little bit of money, and my father told me, you've got the clothes on your back and the food on your plate. So, I did not rebuttal that, I just kept my mouth shut and worked some more.
I couldn't wait to go someplace else to work.
Well, that didn't happen till after I got married,
Oh,
Doris,
dear.
I'm sorry.
Now, you say that your grandfather owned the
Mhm.
farm before?
My grandfather and my grandmother bought the farm, and my mother did not work out at all. My father, when he was courting my mother, he worked for the town of Chatham. And let me see now, they were married at the time, and I was only a little kid, like 7 years old, when my father got run over with a load of gravel. He used to run the shovel, and they were going for lunch, and he went to grab the truck, jumped from the shovel to the truck, and he slipped, and the dual wheels got him. He was down in Hudson Hospital, and we could not go in to see him So we used to visit him through the window. And my grandfather at the time was having a whole big herd of 13 cows in the barn. And then when he got unable to work that hard, my father sort of took over, and of course he kept building and building and building. My grandfather had a small fruit orchard. He used to peddle down here in North Chatham, and Minnie Woodward was his biggest customer. He used to bring chickens, eggs, and fruit down. And us kids, and then we used to ride down in the pickup truck when they brought the milk to the milk station in cans.
Dot, when you were a young girl, did they milk the cows by hand, or did you have a milking machine?
No, they were milking the cows by hand, my grandfather with his 13. And it was just one little row of cows. He used to carry the milk into the milk house, put the milk cans in an outside watering tank that was spring-fed. And that's the water that I drank when I used to come out of the hay barn all the time. I love to make hay. I really
Want to take a
do.
break for a minute?
And I love the black and white Holstein cows to this day.
Can we take a break for a second?
Yeah, John, you getting tired of holding the
Yes, I wish I brought my key. I wish I
That's why
brought
I'm
my,
wondering why you gave your
But-
I was
tight
gonna bring it, but I can zoom in and out better.
I had the play for Christmas, and it was combined with the church play, and we used to walk up and down to practice up and down the street. Don't you think we ought to do that?
Yeah, we should talk all about the things that you had did.
Did you all raise the devil on Halloween, or were you mild? or what?
Yeah, a
I
little
was gonna
bit,
bring
Nora.
that up.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
Well, a little bit.
We don't have to confess to that on.
No, Doris told me she didn't want the wild notes.
Oh, yes, I didn't say
No,
that.
What
I'm
else is there
saying,
something that went
Those
on?
other kids, we did, those other kids that aren't on camera did it.
Right.
Do you remember the big storm that came down that you kids had to do
Oh, right.
anything when that big storm came?
Yeah.
Any floods that you remember?
Mhm.
Do you remember the
What was,
38 flood? I remember that.
Down on the Dorn Flat,
Right.
the
bridge
bridges,
right
the
now.
two bridges.
Okay. Well, these are some things like, it's nice to take a break and kind of refresh our
Yeah.
memory than just sit and say,
Did
well.
those other people talk about that? The
No.
old group?
They talked about older things. They talked about the first cars. They talked about going on the train.
Trolley. And the trolley.
Yeah, on the trolley. And Edith talked about going into Albany on the trolley. They talked about a lot of things when they were very young. They talked about the pond out back. Now, the dam was out, was it not? Or was there still a pond?
That
out?
was-
There
What about the hot things on Saturday night you guys did?
Oh, down at the hotel.
Oh, that was every night.
That was every night, yeah. Saturday night was the square dance up at
I
Mark's.
want to know about the hot stuff you all did.
You would want to, wouldn't you?
Yeah, right.
They're trying to be more mature about this.
Yes, you don't think we'd tell.
They were all little angels, aren't that, little angels.
What about the time there that you got blamed for doing something down at Nick's for Halloween or something? Did he make you
We
come
didn't do
down and
anything
wash
bad
the
at
windows or wash the?
Well, as I recall, this is,
Wait a minute, now wait till we start doing it.
Oh, Nick Walter.
Wait a minute, wait till we start. Are we ready to start?
next,
I've never stopped.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's not fair.
was it right next door, wasn't it, to the
Yeah.
church?
Yeah.
Just south of the church
Yeah.
was the place Nick Walter's owned. Across the street was where Bruce and Shirley Clark lived.
Right, in the
Jimmy
old
Ring
church.
lived a
right.
couple of doors down from the Clarks. And of course, my brother. Uh,
Choices.
I was in the yard one day at my house and a trooper came in.
Uh-oh.
And he said, Mr. Walter said that you smeared his front porch with tomatoes, threw tomatoes against the screens on his porch.
Never.
He said, why don't you get up there and clean it up? I said, I didn't do it. He said, you said you did, so I'll clean it up. So I went up and cleaned it up, but was Rich Dale, Brucey Clark, and Jimmy Ring were the culprits.
Jimmy?
Not
And they still deny it.
me, not me, wasn't me.
He's still denying it.
Did you guys try to crawl in the church and get the church bell and ring the church bell on Halloween?
No.
Always.
Uh-huh. How did?
Ginny was so good.
Ginny.
She says never, she says always.
I remember a couple of times,
Yeah, you get a big rope,
Yeah, we
throw
took
it
a
off
big
the
rope, we
roof,
threw
go
it off the
down the
roof,
field.
and out in the back field, and then we, out in the back field and ring the bell.
Wait, when it was locked up, did you crawl up inside those closets? Because I can remember my kids doing
Oh,
The
that.
church wasn't
There's a
locked.
there's stairway all the way to the belfry.
No, this was, yeah, I know, but it was locked up, so they would go in these closets and climb
Oh.
up on the
It
two
wasn't-
by
yeah, it
four.
wasn't
It was
locked.
never
No,
locked
it
when
was
we
never
were
locked
kids.
when we were kids.
Church was never locked.
Go up, you tie a rope on that rope and
And
throw it
so-
off the
Usually there's
roof,
a roll
down in the
of
field.
bale twine, and
Uh-huh.
it'd be way down behind 4 houses down in Arnold's lot. There the church bell would be ringing like crazy, and there'd be nobody
And the
around.
minister's running out to
Yeah.
catch it.
And the biggest crime in town that I ever heard about was somebody broke in the back of Jesse Walker's car and stole a bunch of X-Lax.
Oh,
And
Ross.
And they thought it was chocolate candy,
Oh.
and I heard that Jimmy Stivers got very sick. Now, this is coming from my mother. She worked at the store.
No, the store was there actually until around 1960, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yeah, even a
It
few
was
years
still
more.
there when I
Summers and
moved to
that.
town.
Yeah.
Winnie Lee had it.
Right. The Gardeners were before
Lee.
Winnie Lee,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
and then Winnie, is the one that sold it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, that was probably the
In
sixties.
the early 60s, I
Mhm.
think.
Ginny, tell about the school plays.
We used to have one, it was at Christmas,
Yeah.
yeah, Christmas time, we'd have, everyone in the school had a part that they would take, and Ella and Mary, or Mrs. Bashford and Mrs. Arnold, would figure out something that could be done by everyone. We'd have, the older ones would take part with things that they had to memorize and put on some kind of a performance. And of course, as Joyce said, at that time, everyone attended church and MYF and all of those things. It wasn't MYF in those days, it was Epworth League. And so the church was very involved in it, and because the school didn't have a place for us to put on these programs, the church was open to us. And the best part of the whole thing was coming up here to practice. We'd all walk up.
Get out of
remember?
school.
We'd get out of school and we'd walk up, snow or not. And there again, coming things that happened then that don't happen now. You'd be able to walk on top of the snowbanks to get
Yeah.
around, because we didn't have the snowplows and everything then in those days, and the snowbanks were so high, and the next bunch of snow would just make it higher.
Harder.
Harder, It used to be lots of fun to get around in those days. We didn't even realize that we were missing transportation because we made our own.
One of the things about this one school play I remember was my grandfather built a big, it was an album, and it had album written on the front, and it would open up like an album, and it's still around today.
Yeah.
And maybe Russ, was George Washington, and he would sit behind it and be dressed like it, and then someone would open the big album cover and talk about George Washington and close it up, and then the next guy would go in and get talked about, and that album is still here.
I think it's up at the library.
I know they were talking about it. a few
Did
weeks
your
ago.
grandfather build the honor roll too?
Yeah, the honor roll.
Yeah.
That
We
was-
put that up in '91, the 50th anniversary of the start of the war, Pearl Harbor Day.
Right.
We re-erected it.
And then it got taken down again.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
at the library, it'll be on.
But if anybody wonders what the honor roll was, it's actually for servicemen in World War II. And what it was
Servicemen
is-
and women.
and women, a big V with like a scroll roll on each side. And it had the names and what service they were in. And it stood up by the old tin library at that time. And other things in World War II. Hello. Time out. Telephone's ringing.
Well, I don't think there's anyone home to answer.
Oh.
If there is, someone will.
Back in World War II, other things I can remember, it was a great thing to have a scrap drive. And down at Webster Bertzel's yard, which is Dorothy Appel's property, there was a huge pile of scrap there. And anything anybody didn't want or use, they put it on that pile, and then the scrappers would come by, I don't know what it was, every so often, and then pick the pile up, and then it would grow again. But,
Do you
a lot,
remember,
a lot of old antiques went in that
Yeah,
pile, I'm
yes.
sure.
do you remember picking milkweed pod?
Making that, picked
Yes.
milkweed pod, and they made life preservers out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
You take all the
The
fibers
silk?
off it and
Yeah.
everything.
10 cents a bag.
Yeah.
The
Really?
bag was about
Bag,
this
yeah.
big.
Yeah.
Oh, even I
Used to
don't
do
remember
that.
We all
that.
picked it.
Yeah, we all got out of
Used
school
to
to
save
pick.
tinfoil,
Yeah.
Oh,
making
yeah.
a ball out of tinfoil, cigarette and gum wrappers, and
Yeah.
that went to the war effort.
There was also a big scrap pile up where Fannings lived.
Right on the corner of.
Yeah, there was no
Cumberland
house
and
there.
32.
Yeah, and there was a sign there that said, "Save your scraps to beat the Japs." I loved it.
Well, the problem was we'd sent all our scrap metal to them before World War II.
That's right.
That's why
We
we
didn't
got-
have any.
We also,
After the war, they sent it all back to us.
we also searched all the dumps for tires, because we got 10 cents a tire for bringing any tires. I can remember Ira Steven, Ralph Johnson, I going to every dump we could find, and most people had a dump. And then bringing the tires, and I think at that time we brought it to Dick Rendel's barn there, and I think Irie Skimmelhorn was in charge of collecting the tires.
Sounds right.
I think that's interesting that most families had dumps today. If you have a dump, you're arrested.
That's right.
You're
Or a burn barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the late 30s and the early 40s, Mary Arnold had 4-H club. And after she finished, Mrs. Farrington took it over. And the first thing that I remember making in Mrs. Arnold's 4-H club was creamed cabbage, and I tell you, that was some good.
And you still make it?
I don't think I can even make it today like we made it in, what, 10, 12 years old I was. But that was 4-H.
The 4-H
We
was
had
active for a long, long time.
Mm.
Yes.
The first 4-H leader I had was Whitney Irish, for the boys. 4-H.
Boys.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Buccaneers.
yeah. We were
Buccaneers.
we
Still
were
yet the
the,
Buccaneers.
we were the start of the Buccaneers. One of the,
So what did you do in 4-H?
oh, I raised chickens and had a garden and had pigs, took them to the fair.
To the
For the races.
And the chicken,
For the-
and the pig
For
races?
the pig races
Oh,
that they have now.
No, the only pig races back then was the owner trying to catch his pig.
So did you show cows at the fair, Doug?
Me?
Yeah.
Never,
No?
never,
Never did that?
No. never. Never polished a cow or anything. Just made sure we got our milk.
I can remember a year since I've been here, where the whole place was ice and my kids skated down the street. Did you
Yes.
folks do that?
Yeah, yeah, we had a couple of times I can remember doing that.
Skate right through the whole
Every
town.
Freezing rain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't put salt on the roads then, they put a little sand on it, you know,
Right.
but, yeah.
And before the dam went out, Hubie Arnold used to close the dam off so that the water wasn't running so much. And we would skate on the creek
Mhm.
out here.
From
skate
the-
on the mill run.
like the park and all
Oh,
the way
yeah,
down
the mill
to the
run,
dam.
we skate on all the time.
Yeah.
That was right in back of the house, that was easy to
That was
get
easy.
to.
What was the main source of heat in your homes during the winter? Like, did you have
Oh.
wood or coal?
Blankets.
Coal.
Blankets.
Like,
Coal?
Yes,
Coal.
I think you're
Long
right.
underwear.
had you be delivered.
Right.
Ours was a living room stove that's sitting down in my son's barn right now.
And that was a coal burning stove?
It was coal, you used to push the top off to the side and get your coal scuttle full of coal and dump it in, and it would take you out all night long, nice and cozy,
In the living room,
in the living room.
only.
Mhm, only, right. Joyce.
You'd have a pipe that ran up through the ceiling,
Yeah.
and if you were lucky, you got the bedroom over the stove.
Mm.
I was never that lucky.
Well, I had a bedroom over the stove, but there was no pipe, it was just a hole, but
Right.
I can remember many a nights it was pretty cold there without, regardless of that hole or not, Jimmy.
And we'd get undressed by the fire downstairs, and we'd
Mm.
put our robe on, but we'd leave it open, and we'd get all the heat that we could. And then we'd run like mad up the stairs and jump into bed. It was so cold.
But a lot of houses that had that had, like, you talk about holes, but they were like a metal register.
Register.
Yeah.
Just a hole to take
Yeah.
the heat upstairs.
Mm.
Did all of you have a refrigerator in your home when you were kids, or ice box, or what was the?
Icebox.
We
First.
have
Refrigerator at our age, but icebox, I'm sure before that, but,
Refrigerator without freezers.
Yeah.
yeah, just right, you didn't have frozen food then.
Yeah.
Just a few ice cube trays,
Mhm.
like Kel says.
I can remember when the
No
toilet,
automatic ice makers.
the toilet was put in our house. We had an outhouse before. Now, I don't recall ever using the outhouse except as in later years when, somebody was taking too long, and then we'd quick run outside and use it. It was there for a good long time.
I think my grandfather did that
He
in your
did.
house, because
yes.
you gave me that bill.
Put the plumbing in.
Yeah.
Made it,
Yeah.
made the bathroom for
My
me.
dad saved the bill, and what was it, Joyce? I've forgotten. Some ridiculous thing. He charged $1,
$1 an hour?
$1 an hour.
I think it was like $33.
Yeah.
That was big
Took
money.
$3 off for conversation. Yeah.
He would.
I also have the bill from Chatham number 9, Chatham District number 9, when he put in the cabinets and at the school. And that was a big whopping bill, probably $45.
Day's pay at that time.
Well, more.
Yeah.
All right.
$1 an
No,
hour.
that's good. I like that deduction for
Yeah.
conversation.
And I have them framed and in my house now. Yeah. One of them in the guest bathroom.
Yeah.
I read it every time, here.
I want to mention something about the Rings Park up there. Dot said, talk about the dam. When the dam was in, that was down behind Arnold's farm, the dam used to divert the water to run the mill. The water up at Rings Park was about 4 foot deep. Now it's about 6 inches.
Mm.
And that's why we were able to have a slide up there and a rolling log. The anchor, I
boats.
believe, for that is still up there, under the water. But to show you how times are different then, that up at the park, people had a lot of picnics up there. And everything was like on an honor system. And there was a calendar on a tree up there. And if the Jordans wanted to have a picnic on July the 4th or whatever it was, they'd just write down here, Jordan family, July 4th. And that would reserve that mainly part of the park for them up there. And if the Deos wanted to have a picnic on August the 2nd, or where it was, you just put down Deo family. And that was reserved for that day. And nobody come in and question. And it worked out beautiful. There was hammocks there, they were hung there all the time. There was croquet set up there, there was a wooden box, no lock on it or anything. Had all the clubs in it, the croquet mallets, the balls and everything, and you go up there anytime, play croquet. When we got done, you put things back in the box, and just close the lid.
Nothing was ever
That was there
locked.
for years and
Nothing
years
was ever
and
locked.
years.
Well, no one locked their doors because I delivered the Knickerbocker News at night, and I'd take the paper in, put it on the kitchen table, most every house in town. I didn't throw it on the front porch like you see in the movies, the paper boy. I took it in and visited whatever it used to take me 2 hours to deliver 35 papers.
You didn't deduct for conversation.
I didn't charge for it either.
Yeah, everything was peaceful until Halloween came along. And that was, North Chatham was a little bit of a different situation when Halloween came along. And again, there wasn't any, what you call real vandalism, but there was a lot of mischief. And one of the big things was to pull up corn stalks along the edge of the cornfields and bring them out and put them across the road, trying to slow traffic down. And of course, the street was covered with trick-or-treaters, kids dressed up and everything. And we had some of our favorite people that might wind up with a little junk on their street or on their lawn or in their driveway. And I can remember distinctly there was Brucey Clark and Jim Ring. Jimmy was
It's on my brother.
Jimmy was my best friend. We're like two peas in a pod. We always hung around.
So were Russ and I.
That's right.
And Brucey Clark there, he was hanging around, he was a good friend of Jimmy's, and I can remember that we were out, we got a little bit older, we were probably about 12 years old, we were getting a little bit older then. We were out raising a little devil. And these two people were walking down, larger people, walking down the street all dressed up. And Brucey, he was a little feisty, I guess you'd put it. And he went up and he hit that one person in the back, just being the devil. And that person turned around and said, "Stop that, Bruce!" And boy, was he scared. It was his mother dressed up. She was out with, I don't know who the other lady was, but I can remember. Well, yeah. They were
Probably
having some
either
fun.
And remember when Lucky Baldwin used to come and sit in the schoolyard?
The sheriff
Sure, the
sheriff. Yeah, too.
couldn't bother
sure.
the school.
Mhm.
No,
Oh,
couldn't-
really? At
Oh,
Halloween?
really?
But the one
Yeah,
story
he'd
was
sit
though,
right
and
there.
I heard this from other kids, that the door had two big loop handles on it. It was double doors
Yeah.
on the school. They both swung out. And the sheriff or the deputy was hiding inside, just inside the doors. And one of the bigger kids, probably like my brother, was older than I am, snuck up and took a wood handle and slid it between the doors. And the sheriff couldn't get out of the schoolhouse. He was there all night. And they used to do things, they'd tip over the slide, but they would, as a prank, but they wouldn't smash it. Just lay it on its side, or take the merry-go-round out and maybe carry it up to the other end of town or something like that, but nothing was really damaged.
There was a couple of hay wagons that got moved from one farm to another and things like that, but they weren't damaged or anything.
One story was that there was a farm outside of town, going towards Chatham, or the Mountain Bridge. There was an old farm up there named Carl Sacco. And Russ said the thing was to get a hay wagon or a rake or something and bring it in town and put it on somebody's lawn or something. And the story is that a bunch of kids went up and got this wagon out of a field near Carl Sacco's, pushed it down the hill, and they got down near the bottom of the hill, and they were having trouble pushing it up the other side of the hill, and all of a sudden I heard a voice said, "Okay, boys, you're far enough, now push it back that the hill where you got it." It was Carl Sacco was right with him.
That surprised them.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So what did you think about going to school in a two-room schoolhouse? You
Don't
learned
think
a
anything
lot.
of
We
it.
didn't know any
Wonderful.
different.
No, different,
No.
that's right.
We'd never been to any other type of school. We thought
You
that
kind of
was.
learned every grade ahead though, because you got your assignments and your lessons, and say, okay, study your geography or whatever you had to do, then she'd go on to the next class.
Mhm.
And of course, you were studying, and you could hear everything, because you had 4 classes in one room, and you're all sitting next to each other. So you almost got like a primer for the next grade, while you're,
That's why we were so smart.
Yeah.
When you went to high school, you were all freshmen in your freshman year. You stayed here until the 8th grade.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
Did the other classmates in your freshman class come from small one-room schoolhouses, or were they schooled in a larger
Mine
teaching
was-
facility?
yeah,
Well,
just-
when I went to Kinderhook, we had kids from Stuyvesant Falls, and
Stockport,
Stockport, and Columbiaville.
Did
those
they
were
all
all small schools.
They all came in.
from small schools?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the ones that lived in, of course, Glacier and Kinderhook, they went to that school where they started. Because those schools had grades from first grade
First
to
grade
to
12th
12th.
12th grade.
And then, that was downstairs always in those high schools, and then
High school
when we
was
became
upstairs.
freshmen, we went upstairs
Mm.
with the rest of the kids.
Oh, really? They
Yeah.
had their elementary school
School
in
was
the
down-
basement?
down-
No,
No,
on the
first floor.
first floor.
On the first floor, oh,
Right.
And then high school was on the second floor.
Second floor.
Ah,
In
That's why
Glen
they
and
called us
Bjornborg.
upperclassmen.
yeah, right.
That's why everyone knew everybody else. They were small. How many in your graduating class and what year?
From,
From,
Nice.
as a senior,
as a senior?
Graduate.
well, actually, I went down there for 3 years because my parents moved up to farm in Nassau on my last year.
So
When I
you
graduated
did-
from Columbia. But
That
I
was
think that-
bigger.
Yeah, there was 98 kids up there. But I think in my class I was in class of 53 down at Martin H. Glenn, I think there was 18 in the class.
How about yours, Joyce? And what year?
There were 15 in my graduating class in 51. We just had a reunion for everybody who graduated from Martin Glen, and we had 8 people there from my class.
And I started at Kinderhook in the 9th grade. I think there were something like 23 or 24 kids, but when we graduated, only 17 of them graduated, and we had 3 PGs, so there were really 20,
Tell me, what is a
and
PG?
49.
What is a PG? Tell me.
People that couldn't pass the year before, so came back to
Oh,
school to
no,
get some
oh,
extra
no.
credits.
Had been in the
I've
service.
been in the service.
Yeah.
Some, yeah.
Well, not these weren't.
Oh.
They weren't? Oh,
Oh.
Some of us went PG just to go back and play football.
Yeah. Like they should have graduated in 48, but apparently didn't have enough credits or
Yeah.
something, so they came back and graduated with us.
mhm,
PG stands for postgraduate.
Right.
Right.
yeah.
So, I graduated in 47, and there were 9 in my class, and 2 of those were returned servicemen.
I graduated from Martin and Buren in 1946, and we had 24 graduates. But we had a lot of boys go to service too out of that class.
Right after graduation.
No, not
No,
after.
they-
No, not
Before.
after, before,
Before.
42, 42 and 43, they
Yeah.
went to service. And I graduated in 46.
Because they went from high school, and then as you say, they came back after the war
Mhm.
to finish high school. A lot of them.
You remember the storms we had in the village here? When was the big flood that took out the Malden bridges?
45.
Yeah.
1945.
They took the Malden Bridge.
It took out
The
the
old
Writers
covered
Mill covered
Oh.
bridge, that came down and took out the Malden Bridge. And it floated right down intact, it just,
Mm.
water lifted it off to.
Really?
Yeah,
Just lifted it
up
right
with
up?
the abutments, and that floated right down like a boat, crashed into the Malden Bridge, knocked that one out.
Now,
Yeah.
the Dorn one went out long before that, or what?
38.
And when?
Wasn't it that, 1938?
That was the
Hurricane.
first time, but then it went out again, didn't it? Later?
Well, that bridge is was pretty stable all the time because all that flat was all flooded all the time. Steimer's Field down through there was just one mass of dirty water, really rolling.
So there wasn't condensed enough to take the bridge?
Take
Yeah,
the
But
bridge,
the-
it spread out.
The
yeah.
bridge down past the Waldorf farm.
Yeah,
Was
that
that-
bridge, that
that
went
one,
out.
yeah.
Mhm. That was the Hicks farm at the time, Hicks Bridge.
I remember Arthur Samuel Scott,
Oh,
and he had a pair of asses. And we always used to laugh because his initials were the same as what he had.
But you have to tell more about Mr. Scott. He was the entrepreneur of the village.
Remember that?
I guess I didn't want to.
Mr. Scott made a lot of money during the Depression, lending money to
Lending money.
folks.
And
Yeah,
home
because-
mortgages.
Right, because when I moved to this town, my mother-in-law said, "Ah, I know Mr. Scott, we couldn't get a mortgage anyplace else." And this was right at the peak of, right at probably around 1929. And Mr. Scott was around loaning money, and I can imagine that and they bought a little house in Albany.
Of course, he did a service to people that couldn't get money in other places though.
That's true.
Sure, even though he made money from it,
Yes, he did.
yeah.
I'm
What?
sure he did.
yeah.
He also liked to get his name in on the estate business too.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't
Oh, yeah.
miss a trick, in other words.
No, that's right.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. We get back to storms, you remember when the big windstorm came and took the trees down in North Chatham?
That was
The
1950.
1950.
One of
Was
those,
it?
Yeah,
one of those windstorms took the roof off our house.
and off the south side of the church,
Yep.
Mm.
the metal roof is on.
That was in 1950?
50, November.
Wow.
Yep.
And how
North
many
Chatham,
trees around the whole perimeter of the church, all of those trees.
And a lot
all
along the
those-
main
Yeah.
street too.
there were full-grown pine trees all in the front of the church, just full of them out there, and blew almost all, broke them right off. And North Chatham Village used to be so shaded with maple trees that was, actually, they
Like a
touched
tunnel.
from side to side, and through the whole village was just completely shaded like a tunnel. And it just kept it nice and cool in there,
Mm.
and when that storm came, it blew down up to half of those trees.
At least.
And they were huge maples, I mean, they were like, what, 18, almost 2 feet in diameter or
They
something.
were, yeah.
Yep. I can remember I went out, there was, Rendell Hotel, of course, was in business then, and a bus came down from Albany, and a tree had fallen down, just blocked the bus, and I can remember, I can say 16 now, that's probably about right, and the father and I, we went out, he said, maybe we can go up and do something with the tree, actually his stepfather at that time. And maybe we can cut the tree up, and he went up, I wanted to go with him in the worst way, and he finally said, okay, over my mother's disagreement. And I can remember that rain was coming so hard against my cheek that it felt just like needles digging into my skin. I mean, I couldn't believe it, that's how hard it was.
Was it a hurricane or what?
Yes.
It was a hurricane.
It was just, I guess the same you'd
They
call
called
it.
it the hurricane. in
Straight wind,
1950.
yeah. But I can still almost feel that now, just like somebody poking a bunch of needles into your skin. It was-
Well, the people on that bus couldn't go home. Could they, didn't they stay?
No, yeah, a tree
Yeah,
fell
that's
first
what
in
I
front of it and blocked it, and before the bus could back up, a tree fell down and
Right.
behind it.
Mhm.
And the whole bus load of people went into the hotel. Jane opened the doors,
Yeah.
and they went, I guess they stayed all night there, but they just couldn't
And
move.
no traffic moved at all.
Oh, no.
Did you play cards down at Rendell's?
That was a hangout for the kids.
Yep.
Yeah, and we're there, like I said, almost every night, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we played pinochle, 500, canasta was a big thing then. You never even hear about canasta anymore. And,
Tiddlywinks.
Well, I
yeah,
can play that, Joyce,
tiddlywink.
but I can't play the cards.
And, ate ice cream sodas. And,
Bob.
Remember, Bob? So I found out that orange soda and chocolate ice cream makes a delicious Sunday. Ice cream soda, I guess you would call it.
Well, that was really great, and are there any parting words that you would like to leave for the future
I
generation?
thought of one thing that we didn't mention, and that was walking barefoot up the highway in the hot Some are with the tar and you put your feet in and
It
you
would
could
squish.
go squish and there'd be little bubbles and you break them with your toe and your
Ooh.
feet would be covered with tar.
Did you ever get that tar off your feet?
I guess so. It's gone now. I'm sure my mother didn't think it would ever come off though.
Well, thank you very much. And-
Well, we hope the next generation enjoyed North Chatham as much as we did.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Sure.
You mean the less than middle-aged?
Yes.
We're gonna talk to them next,
Yeah.
if we can get a group of them together. Okay, thank you.
Bye all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
No, that was great.